Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello everybody, welcome to Quick Bang. We're here a little bit later than normal because we've all been making our way back from Motherwell or the pub or wherever we've been after Hibs kicked off the season with a 3-2 win away from home. Jimmy, I'll start with you tonight, mate. What was your take on the game?
Well, a game of two halves, really, and a shite referee. Absolutely incredible. The penalty that we should have had, a clear barge, you know. Well, in the first half, this distribution for the defence was really poor. To Gogic and to Newell in the middle, that just doesn't work. I mean, you guys were at the match. There just wasn't any penetration, you know. But second half, I mean, gee whiz, what a transformation. It was brilliant. It just Boyle got kicked off the park again.
Mm-hmm.
The two goals we gave him, either schoolboy, you know.
Do you know? See, the two goals we gave away, right? Two headers. Apparently, according to the Sky commentators, we never conceded a headed goal in the league last season.
That's correct.
I found that mental. I was like, that can't surely be right, but apparently that's the case, eh?
That's right.
And then 2 in one afternoon.
TV, you guys were at the game. I watched it on the TV and I heard that stat and I was like, all right. But yes, listen, the second half, I thought we moved the ball with a bit pace. Boyle would just run, beat them, cut it back, you know, get into the box. Nisbet was fantastic. First half, he couldn't get the ball under control.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time. You guys, you know, it was pinging off his legs, off his boot, and it just wasn't sticking. Second half, his touches were absolutely magnificent. It really was. A joy to watch. Great 3 points. I didn't expect that. And I just listened to that Graham Alexander interview. I just really don't know what he's on about.
I think he's just sticking up for his team, didn't he?
Oh,
I think that's it.
But listen, great 3 point, great start. Let's not get carried away. But there's McGuinness again. The 3 games I've seen of him, he's been brilliant, and long may that continue.
Aye, nice one, Tracy. How did you feel being back at a packed away end and amongst it all?
Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Loved it. It was just Lucy and I. Absolutely loved it. It was great seeing some of the old faces as well that you normally see in the away end. But it was just great. Just absolutely loved it. And to get the 3 points as well. Few nerve-wracking moments, but wouldn't it be Hibs if we didn't have them and couldn't watch the penalty because I can't watch penalties. But I'm so glad it was Boiler, considering the day he had. He was literally getting kicked about from one end of the pitch to the other. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I was surprised he wasn't in an ice bath.
I probably is when he gets home. Well, what was the main thing you took for the game, Tracy? What do you think was the deciding factor in it?
I think we worked really hard. I mean, obviously, the first half, I didn't feel I could, obviously, defensive errors, there were poor defensive errors, especially second header. I mean, the guy had the free header right on the post, and it was just crazy because obviously it was right in front of us. But I couldn't really fault them a lot. I mean, obviously we should have got the penalty that we never, I mean, it looked a clear penalty. I mean, we were up at the other end, and everyone was saying that they were getting messages from home saying absolute stonewaller.
Yep.
The guy that fouled him as well, he was already on a booking and should have been sent
right.
off. So it looked like the referee had no balls there.
Yep.
Pun intended. But Yeah, the first half I thought, we're 2-1 down, but I didn't feel that it was going to be a disastrous afternoon. They came out the second half, they fought really hard. I thought Joe Newell had a fantastic second half.
Yes.
Lewis Stevenson, people saying he's done. Wow. I mean, the areas he covered as well was just unbelievable. The lad's got some stamina. Boiler was just so fast. I think they can't cope with his pace, so they'd rather take him out and call him a cheat. But he was fantastic. There was just so many great performances, especially in the second half. McGuinness is like a complete new player for us, because obviously we didn't get a chance to see what he was capable of last season. Jamie Murphy, he absolutely fantastic as well. Just you could tell the reaction. It was getting booed when he, the fact he was getting taken off. But yeah, just loads of positives to come away from. Obviously, getting the 3 points as well. We do love a 3-2 scoreline. So yeah, no, loads of positives. Lucy hung around at the end as well. She wanted to see some of the players, so I think we've got pictures of practically everybody. So yeah, great way to end it, which is why we took so long to get home. We're not far, but stalking at the end.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant day.
And Ray, what about you? I know obviously we spoke at the match. It was nice to meet you at the game. But what was your thoughts on it overall?
Well, as I said to you at the game, it was. I felt that we were well in the game in the first half, despite going in 2-1 at half time. More positives than negatives. As I said to you, I was really impressed with McGuinness. Boyle was absolutely taking the piss out of their left back. He had him in his back pocket, and when the boy got booked from that point on, he had no chance. Should have been sent off because it should have been a penalty. It was a yellow card. If the referee awards that decision, that's got to be a yellow card. So it would have been a penalty, and then and I felt, as I've mentioned, McGuinness was absolutely superb. But the player that really shone for me, especially in the second half, was Nisbet. Nisbet was just his touch, his vision, and his movement, and being able to be at the game to watch what's happening ball and how he draws defenders, how he pulls little spaces for other players to come into. The goal, Doidge's goal, was essentially down to Nisbet. It was his work that enabled albeit he was a touch unlucky for it to hit the post. And all credit to Doidge for being that man to go battering in there and get that goal. I'd be delighted if Doidge was to go in and score 20 goals like that all season. I couldn't give a shit if they were in the world is. Thought they were brilliant. I thought defensively for those goals were absolutely ridiculous. The cross shouldn't be letting the cross come in as easily for the first one, in my opinion. The second one, holy shit. And I said to you at the game that I thought that it was McGinn that had picked up their was it Idi Amin or Robert Mugabe? We had this discussion at the game. I can't remember which one it was. So the boy's a monster. He's an absolute unit, right? And I'd said to you at the time, it says either Porteous or Hanlon's got to go with him, no matter how they're lining up. One of them's got to go and pick him up because of the size of him and who he is. When I saw the replay just now, it was Gogic. Gogic is even smaller than them.
Twice.
And Gogic runs with him. And you're going, well, I can't really blame you, son. I can't expect you to jump with the boy in the box and win that fairly.
And then Gogic's a centre half to trade as well, wasn't he? Before he moved into midfield, Gogic's his career had been at centre half, so you kind of, he's not the worst person to have in that position in theory, but he just didn't cope with the guy.
He doesn't have the physical stature. It doesn't have the physical stature that the other two centre halves do, and that's basically what you need, just to get up there and challenge and make it awkward for the boy to get his head in it, because he had essentially had a free header to knock it in.
Aye, fair point. Kaiser, what about you? What did you make of the game?
Aye, just like it's been said, it's like a game of two halves. And I think the big difference with it was we didn't panic when we went 2-1 behind. I think we had the majority of possession. We strung a lot of passes together, and we just didn't panic. We just stuck to it. I think Jack Ross pulled off another masterclass today. The referee again was hopeless.
Get the drug testing done again.
Aye, I think so. I think like obviously I know Longbangers kind of inspires things like tactical changes, things like that in the Hibs team. So I would imagine that should be something that the SFA, if they're listening, should take on board, because there's definitely something going on. But nah, as I say, it was the second half was brilliant. Gogic had a nightmare, I thought, today. He just wasn't breaking up play like he normally does. And then obviously he's kind of recovered the set pieces with defence. And I thought, would you call him, Doyle Hayes, when he came on, was really, really good.
Yes.
I kept an eye on him. I think his first touch of the ball, he was right out of the box to put a ball out for a corner, but he was just right into it for the get go. And he looked really good.
That wee through ball, Kaiser, the wee through ball that put through for it essentially led to the penalty. It was him that played that beautifully weighted pass through and opened them up.
Aye, and I thought, like, even but give Motherwell some credit as well. I thought that Van Veen, whatever his name is, thought he looked quite good. And they worried about Boyle though. See, we've got to be playing Thursday to Sunday, right? We have games in Europe and the league. Boyle keeps getting the attackings that he's getting. Like, we're going to end up man down. You'd say, I know. There's a lot being touched on about us getting some centre backs, but it looks things we're maybe going to need a left back cover if Doig goes. But I think we need to get somebody to help Boyle it, because I think he's got to need a rest now and again. Because I think that his work rate, the speed he runs Thursday to Sunday, week in, week out, I think that's going to cause it eventually.
This is maybe where Mueller will come in handy if we can get him in. Aye. If we get Mueller in, that might be the answer to that one. Or Cadden back. I know Cadden isn't quite the same player as Boyle, but he can get up and down the right-hand side.
Sorry, Mike, what was the situation with Cadden? Is
injured.
He had a thigh tear. So his back, his heel, he was out with a fractured back at the back end of last season.
Yeah.
Then he came back and was just getting back in the team. And then he got a thigh tear. So I think it was 6 weeks he was out from a couple of weeks ago, so maybe another month before he's back into contention. So a wee bit news.
What Kaiser's saying is quite right about, if we have to, or if we lose Boyle, Jamie Murphy, you can't expect him for a season. We could be doing 2 or 3 players before, but we are doing 2 or 3 players at the moment. So it's a good point, Kaiser.
The news before the game was obviously Josh Doig getting taken out of the squad, and it looks like Jack Ross was saying he's going to be away. Jack Ross isn't going to be away. Josh Doig is going to be away early in the week. Tracy, what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, it's pretty gutted that he wasn't in the squad, and the news coming out. Obviously, he's a great talent, but from what Graham Matthew was saying in an interview during the week, that the club will look to obviously get a good deal for the club, but also it'll be based on the development and how they look after the player as well. So hopefully it'll be, if he does go, it's a good move for him. It's also a good move for us. I noticed on Twitter they're talking £3 million fee, which I think he's worth more than that. And I find that as Scottish clubs end up taking amounts like that, when down south he would be far more than that.
Probably 3 or 4 times that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but knowing Hibs, they'll have plenty add-ons and clauses in there based on his development. So it'll probably end up to be a good deal. I just hope it's the right move for him. He's still young. I would quite like him at least to have another season with us, because obviously he just broke through last season. But I'm sure the club and Josh knows what they're doing. So if he does go, then wish him all the best, and it'll be good to see how he develops at another club.
Absolutely. And Raymond, you said at the game that you thought maybe we'd take the money for Doig and then use that to go and secure centre half from somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. They're going to take that money, and then that'll get used to pay for the fees that, for instance, St Johnstone asking for players. It might even be used to bring Mueller across from America slightly quicker. I can't see them banking it. It's, I think those days, thankfully, they appear to be behind us. We seem to be trying to invest, and to advance for that money rather than have it, let us say, stagnating in a bank account.
Aye, it's good. And Jimmy, where else do you think the team needs strengthened?
Oh, definitely centre half. Definitely. I mean, I like Porteous, and there's a thing, is Porteous one of these players that's possibly leaving? He played really well today. That's so. And Paul Hanlon, I love the guy. He's brilliant. He's just slowing up a wee bit. So a definite centre half, that has to happen. Mueller coming in, maybe that gives them gears 3 up top, unless Nisbet leaves.
Yeah.
So we're playing poker, and I think the laddie McCart, is a certainty. Reading between the lines, for St Johnstone, he would be a good addition. I would say 3 players, Matty.
3 players, aye.
Yeah.
That's about right. Kaiser,
I think so.
you mentioned Jack Ross. We will come back talking about Jack Ross in the car. His away record at Hibs must be better than pretty much any Hibs manager I can remember. How are you assessing Jack Ross at the moment if you're going to take his time at Hibs so far?
I think he's making changes, and he's obviously it's got to be hard for him now, because we're 2 games a week, so we've got quite a bit of depth in the squad. Obviously, it's mostly midfielders, right enough,
Aye.
but we've got some quality. Like, if you look at that bench, the benches, it's not a rubbish bench. He's got a real kind of a bit of quality. There is some areas that need strengthened, like centre back, and then, as I said, if Doig goes, I think we'll need, because am I not right? We've only got 2 left backs, haven't we? We've only got Stevenson and Doig, yeah.
And Mackey, but Mackey's injured. He's
Mackey injured,
one,
right.
I think how bad his
Aye,
injury
but no,
is.
I just think, like, tactically in that as well, like, he doesn't always get it right, but like the day you just seen the confidence that the team coming out for the second half, they just didn't start shelling the ball up to panic and try and force something to happen like Hibs have done before. They were just composed, and that's obviously going to come from the manager, that kind of airy confidence that they've got. So I think he's doing really well. There's a lot of, he can't win big games, can't win this, can't win that. We came 3rd last season. We were unlucky with the cup games in isolation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And we're in Europe and we seem to do well. We seem to be doing well, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on Thursday. Yeah?
Well, it's a cracking start to the season. We were talking again, something else we were talking about in the car going through. Me and Josh were saying about the pre-season. So I think we lost to Accrington Stanley. I think we lost 1-0, and then we drew with Stoke. But I think we won all the other pre-season games. It's a good habit to get into, because then you go into the European games, win both of the games in the tie, and then progress. We kick off the season with a win away from home, which is a tough game. We look ahead to Thursday. It's going to be a difficult game again, but you would fancy this Hibs team to do something in that match, I think. And then
I would say yes. I think.
Well, I would say that I'm looking at this thinking they'll have watched who we are, what we're all about, and I can almost guarantee you they will target Porteous. They will target him in such a way that they'll get a reaction out of him to go lunging into tackles or something, because they'll be trying to get him, because they know that he's
Boyle
capable
as well.
of big mad tackles.
See, every time we play a team, it seems like one of the fundamentals is absolutely white Boyle it. Like,
aye.
Every game you watch, he just gets attacked, and it is attacked that he gets, and then he gets called a diver.
Yeah.
Like, you seen it at the end of the game there. A boy fucking went through him, and he stayed on his feet. Do you know what I mean? So, see, for him to say he's a diver,
Aye.
but then he could have went down there. He tried to go for the ball again. So
Yeah.
Aye.
He did get clipped, by the way.
He did. Aye. But I think we could have had a penalty late on as well, but he could have had a wee go at him, and if he'd gone down, he would have given the referee a decision to make, but he didn't do it. So a good 3 points. Highlight of the game then, so just I'll kind of go down to Jimmy, start with you. What was your big highlight for the game?
Oh, just the progression for the laddie McGuinness. He had a tough time last year. The pre-season, the European games. Today, I thought the laddie done. You know what? Really good. He was in the box to score. He was in a midfield in the box. Apart McGinley, get in the box and get your foot in someone. Really impressed. Impressed with Nisbet. The laddie's class. So a great 3 points.
Aye.
But let's just.
I'm delighted with McGuinness. I think I was talking him up last season. I think it's fair to say we didn't really see the best of him because he was a bit stop-start with injuries and illness, etc. But he definitely looks the part. I mean, looks every bit a Hibs quality player at the minute. Tracy, what was your highlight then?
Yeah, pretty much like Jimmy. I think the fact, that we've got players that have come back that we've missed last season, and they're like new players for us, like Jamie Murphy and Kyle McGuinness, really seeing what they can contribute to the team. And yeah, just a great second half performance, although I didn't feel we were struggling in the first, and just being back in an away game.
I said my voice is still hoarse a bit for it. Raymond, what about you? What was your big highlight?
Well, obviously it was meeting Matty and young Master Fairney as well. That was. Let's not forget Kirby Nisbet. I mean, it was all over. It was overwhelming, to be perfectly honest. I was left speechless.
That wasn't true. That definitely wasn't true.
I would, honestly, for me, Kevin Nisbet, just watching his touch, his vision, his movement off the ball, the little balls round the corner, drawing fouls when it was a sensible thing to do. He's not going to be with us for terribly long. He's too good for us.
Yeah. And what about you, Kaiser?
Just obviously they normally say that penalty decisions worked our way out over the half, like the ones you didn't get, you'll get back. We managed to do that today in a game. So one that we didn't get up the other end, we managed to get in the end after. So that was a happy days for me.
Nice one. I thought it was good. I pretty much agree with all of that. I love the fact that we came from behind to win the game, because that was a criticism last season, was that we didn't do it, and we were behind twice in the game today and still managed to dig out a win. And McGuinness and Nisbet, Raymond, I agree with you. Nisbet just looked like a different class at times today. It was superb. But 3 points on the board, and we look ahead to Thursday in the European game, and the Hibs go marching on. So thanks very much for joining us tonight. It's been brilliant, absolutely buzzing. I think I'll be buzzing all night. I was having a wee look there to see if Sports Scene was on, and it doesn't look like Sports Scene's on tonight. So I'll be penning a strongly worded letter of complaint to the BBC and maybe hand delivering it with a smack in the bus for somebody, because I wanted to watch it again. And so maybe I have to stay up till midnight and wait till the highlights go into Hibs TV and watch it then. But thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Monday night with Longbangers, and then Thursday with Short Bangers. So until then, take care. Thanks very much.
County line, I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't